Welcome back everybody into another daily recap. Today is the 21st of October and as usual we're going to check the analysis how it played out on gold, Bitcoin, EuroDollar and GbpJpy for the day. We're going to see how price moved and if the analysis done in the morning played out or not. So on gold we started here. We were right almost at the PPL PSA. Let me just check it. Yes, we were around here, and we were expecting either a further push up after bouncing off 1785 or a deeper pullback to 1781 for further buys. Only below 1781 we were considering sells. They actually played out, but as you can see, price today was in a very nasty range. And as you can see here, if we go only 1 minute, you can see that from pre-London, so this was almost when I made the analysis, we got a pullback and the retest exactly on the dot of 1781, giving us the high risk, high reward buys with safer buys when the price action retested exactly the order block highs. Let me show you, which were exactly also this price point. So we had the high risk, high reward entry and the medium risk, safer entry. There you go. And price continuing up above the PSA 1784, 1785. And yes, with some resistance going back to the previous highs around 1788, as you can see here. Then price got a very huge and strong rejection on the previous highs. This was not cold, but as you can see, price was very strong bearish. First top of 1781, but after that just melting, break and retest, and then doing New York. And I think like in New York Open, we had the reversal, the shift of the price action into a new bullish one. I was not expecting the buys from a bounce of this level, so I'm not going to say that this was good buys. Not even, I mean, the sells were expected from 1789. They were missed for like 10 pips, so I'm not going to say that I called these sells, but for sure the buys, yes, for around 60 pips, which is very good. After that, price bounced back up, back into the range. Again, break and retest of 1781, but then just ranging between the key level and the PSA, slightly below, never breaking below the previous lows, and just ranging all day long. But we're still respecting on the dot. As you can see, you had perfect entries at the key levels, at the previous lows. Price action today was clean and king on gold. Let's jump into Bitcoin. Okay, give me a second. I knew. Let me see if I. No. Okay. I move this. There you go. So we had price this morning bouncing off the 64,750 price sensitivity area, PPL, and we were expecting buys from there. We saw exactly this. We saw a bounce and buys to the previous highs, as you can see here. You might say again a bounce off after grabbing liquidity to revisit 67k. There you go. And then we were expecting as well the rejection at the previous highs, as you can see here. And this played out quite nicely. Overall, a lot of pips. Beforehand, we had this nice bounce, very aggressive bounce from the PSA, which was charted 63,750 for possible high risk, high reward buys. And this is exactly what happened, because from here, price immediately bounced like 100 something pips. But let's jump into the 1 minute chart to see on details. Okay, very good. I don't need the arrows anymore. Let me just put the PPLs on. There you go. And as you can see here, this was during Asian session. We were just ranging, and in pre-New York, what I was expecting was, as you can see, price never made new lows, and price actually bounced off. Okay. Price bounced off the PSA that you were calling the high risk, high reward buy area, and just pull back to every key level for further price entry, as you can see. And this looks small, but remember, this is 100 pips, this is 100 pips, so it's like 250 pips of move, and we were expecting this sells from this PSA, exactly from this PSA, and exactly what we got. We got the sells for 100 of pips, very aggressive, the same move, the same 2-minute candle, the price push up again, as you can see, so giving us this 250, this 250, even more, and then like 200 pips on the upside. After that, price just continued very bearish. After failing to make new highs, look where price reacted exactly on the dot, and then just continued printing bearish candles down below 16,500. But as you can see, this was a huge demand area because price bounced multiple times from here. Remember that this one is 100 pip move. It looks very small because today the range was huge. As you can see, this one was like 300 pips. In total, from the previous highs, from 67, the move was around 420 pips after push of 250, a bounce of 170 pips. So very, very strong price action. Of course, this is due to the fact that we are sitting at the all-time highs. So that's why this morning we were expecting, yes, we already saw this correction overnight, and we were expecting either a bounce from this PSA to revisit those previous highs, but we were expecting that some profit taking could happen again to revisit here and to happen again from these previous highs. This is exactly what happened. From here, as you can see, found some support in the high time frame. Still, we have many price sensitivity areas to break price points before we can say that we are in a bearish trend. But let's jump into euro dollar very quickly. As you can see, As you can see here, we were here this morning. Price just went bearish, didn't have the retest to the previous highs, just broke and retested 1.1645, which was the medium risk sell area, giving us like on EuroDollar is much smaller range, giving like 24 pips, which on the 1 minute chart it's very not the cleanest. This was overnight during Asian session. This was pre-London open, and you can already see even during London session that the price was very bearish, didn't give any I was expecting a liquidity grab on the upside and then continuation down with break and retest, but immediately just went straight down, break and retest on the hourly. This is a long retest and then continuation down in the last few hours. So this is a huge order block consolidation period. As you can see, always staying below the PSA, just a few fake outs during New York session, but never making, of course, new highs. Never happened. This was the last lower high, and price never made a new higher high. So we stayed in the same bias, never broke the PSAs, and then we continued bearish. Let's jump into GbpJpy. But before, let's watch the dollar movement. What happened today was you can see that price didn't actually bounce off the PSA again. That's why the reason why on EuroDollar we didn't see the upside move before moving down. It just tested the previous lows, did a shorter pullback, retesting the high time frame bullish structure visualized in a trend line, and then finally broke above 93,700 as it showed with the arrows, and retested and possibly bullish, but we have a lot of PSAs yet to break. If we zoom out on the hourly time frame, we can see overall, as we already knew, we are still very bullish, but we are likely bouncing off this PSA, possibly continuing up. But still, on the intraday, we are doing this huge pullback from the previous highs after this was the CPI report. But as I said, let's jump into, of course, I almost forgot. Do something. Okay. Today we had the jobless claims, which came out slightly better than expected and slightly better than prior. And they actually, let's see, on the dollar they didn't have much of an impact, really, not at all. Let's go on GJ. I don't understand why I keep pulling you, because I don't see you. That's why. It's fine. So let's see. Very good. This morning I was expecting when I made the analysis, we were here. There was this very aggressive bullish candle, but I was expecting that the possibility of a retest and failure to break this PSA on the 57.68 for high risk high reward sells that played out nicely. As you can see here, went to retest the previous PPL for 50 pips and gave the bounce of 157 to 100 ppl, which has already been a strong demand area, and which actually did also today. As you can see, after during the day, the price found the liquidity at the other PSAs over the week at this PSA, but during London session was very nice price action. As you can see here, there you go. There you go. So we're coming from a very, very strong bearish action during Asian session. We were bouncing off this PSA. When I made the analysis, we were coming right towards very strongly, but we got a very huge and nice rejection. Even if you miss this first move, as you can see, price gave the opportunity here, gave you another opportunity, sells here, sells here, sells here, because price never broke this PSA to the day, never even once, as you can see. And here price made a double bottom at 157 to 100 for some nice buys as well. This is this PSA 157 to 100 here, giving you the opportunity for some nice buys, and then continuation bearish, giving you another opportunity to take a risk reward sells from the PSA. This was quite slower to make the same range it did in the morning, but still doing in 2 hours it did the full range to range, another bounce from the demand area, did exactly the same break and retest of these other PSA pre-charted, and then going back here. As you can see here, 1, 2 taps, and then continuous bearish trend on GJ. Break and retest of the PPL, break and retest of the PSA, and then just went to grab some more liquidity exactly at 157, 56, which is 899, 93, what was it? 94, which was already pre-charted as well for nice buys. As you can see, failing to make new highs, and again continuing bearish, founding finally the last support at 156,800 in continuation up for like 40 pips. So overall today, GBP was bearish with much more strength on the yen. As a recap, you have this PSA for the high risk, high reward sells. You have this PSA twice for the buys, 157 to 100, and you have 156.94 for buys, and again 156.8. Why this? Why even in a strong bearish trend we consider buys? Because overall on the high time frame, as you see, as you know, we are still very bullish. So the main trend is just, okay, where will pound yen go to grab liquidity in order to continue up? Well, we have several areas, points of interest. We have this level, which was 157 today. This level, which is 156,800. We have this level, which is around the 56.90 something, 24. We had this level, so you know this one, this one. It's not like that the wicks are stopping casually, but overall the trend is very bullish. We have very bullish, aggressive momentum last week here. Then it's normal that we have some consolidation. We are consolidating at the highs, and then we have the continuation up. Unless there's something, some catalyst that is more bearish, that brings some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which gives strength to the yen pair, the yen currency, safe haven currency. But this is it, and pretty happy about the analysis of today. Worked out very, very good on Bitcoin. Gold was very, very low, but as well, GJ worked pretty nicely. Very good. 157.68 here. Yeah, didn't call these high risk high reward buys, but 1 and 2, yes. So this is it, guys, for today. See you tomorrow.